You know that feeling? The first bite of your absolute favorite snack? It's a fireworks show for your taste buds. Pure magic. But 5 minutes later, the magic is gone. The flavor feels muted. And yet, your hand is still reaching into the bag. And stranger still, even when you're completely full from dinner, there's somehow a separate, secret stomach just for dessert. What is going on there? It's not a lack of willpower. It's a fascinating quirk in your brain's design. Think about the last time you sat down with a big bag of chips. That first one is an explosion of salty, crunchy perfection. The second is almost as good. By the 10th, you're not even really tasting it anymore. You're just eating. The thrill has vanished. Or picture a holiday dinner. You've had turkey, potatoes, stuffing. You couldn't possibly eat another bite. You lean back, totally stuffed. Then someone brings out a pumpkin pie or a bright, zesty lemon tart. And suddenly, miraculously, you have room. It feels like a magic trick, but this is your brain running a very old, very specific program. This phenomenon has a name: sensory-specific satiety. It sounds a bit clinical, but the idea is simple. Your brain gets bored with the same taste, smell, and texture really, really fast. Satiety just means the feeling of being full or satisfied. So you can be specifically full of one flavor, like salty potatoes, while still being completely ready for a different one, like sweet chocolate. It's like your senses have a reset button that only gets pushed by novelty. The first flavor system is tired and wants a nap, but the new flavor system is wide awake and ready to party. But why is our brain wired this way? It's not a flaw, it's a feature, designed for a world very different from our own. For our ancestors, eating wasn't about pleasure, it was about survival. If they found a bush full of berries, that was great. But eating only those berries for weeks on end could lead to malnutrition. They needed a mix of nutrients, vitamins, minerals, proteins, fats that no single food could provide. So the brain developed this powerful, built-in urge for variety. That fading pleasure for the berries wasn't a bug, it was a feature. It was a push to stop eating this one thing and go find something else, maybe some nuts, some roots, or a lucky catch. It was a survival mechanism to ensure a balanced diet. The problem is, we still have that ancient brain, but now we live in a modern supermarket. Psychologists have been fascinated by this for decades. In the 1980s, a researcher named Barbara Rolls brought this phenomenon into the lab. Imagine sitting in her experiment. You're given a bowl of your favorite pasta and asked to eat until you're full. Before you start, you rate how pleasant it is on a scale from 1 to 100. It's a solid 95. But as you eat, you keep rating it. After 10 minutes, it's maybe a 70. By the time you're full, it might have dropped to a 50. The pleasure literally fades with every bite. But then, the researchers bring out a tray of desserts: chocolate cake, ice cream, fruit salad. Suddenly, when you rate those, your pleasure scores shoot right back up to 90. Your brain scans would show the same story. In a region behind your eyes, called the orbitofrontal cortex, the neurons that were firing like crazy for the pasta have gone quiet. They're bored. But show them that cake, and a whole new set of neurons light up, ready for action. And this isn't just about taste buds getting tired. The brain's powerful reward system is a key player, especially the chemical messenger, dopamine. We used to think of dopamine as the pleasure chemical, but scientists like Wolfram Schultz showed it's more like the novelty and motivation chemical. In his famous experiments, a monkey would get a surprise drop of juice, and its dopamine neurons would fire like crazy. It was new, exciting. But after a few times, the juice wasn't a surprise anymore. The dopamine spike stopped happening when the juice arrived. Instead, it shifted earlier, firing when the monkey heard the cue that predicted the juice was coming. The brain wasn't excited by the reward itself, but by the anticipation of a potential reward. Once something becomes predictable, the dopamine system says, "Okay, we know this one. What's next?" It's constantly pushing you to seek out the next new thing. And once you see this pattern, you see it everywhere. It's why a buffet is so dangerous for our waistlines. It's a playground of novelty for our ancient brain. Your plate becomes a collection of first bites, a little scoop of macaroni and cheese, a single spring roll, a slice of roast beef, a spoonful of salad. Each new item reignites that pleasure and keeps you eating far more than if you just had a large plate of any one of those things. It's also the secret behind the dessert stomach, and the reason why a bag of mixed flavor snacks is so much harder to stop eating than a bag with just one flavor. Every time you pull out a different color or shape, you're giving your brain a tiny reset, a fresh little hit of novelty that says, "Keep going." Now, here's where it gets tricky. Food companies know all about this. They have teams of scientists dedicated to creating foods that perfectly exploit this quirk. Modern processed snacks are often designed to be what's called hyper-palatable. They don't just hit one note like salty or sweet. They hit multiple notes at once. Think of a loaded nacho-flavored chip. It's salty, it's a little sweet, it has the savory umami flavor from cheese powder, a little spicy kick, and a complex, crunchy texture. This sensory symphony delays your brain's boredom button from being pushed. It keeps the experience feeling novel for longer, which keeps you reaching back into the bag long after your actual hunger has faded. This leads to a really strange human experience. The moment you realize you're still eating something you're not even enjoying anymore. This is where wanting and liking get divorced in the brain. The liking is the actual pleasure you get from the taste, and as we've seen, that fades pretty quickly. But the wanting is the habit, the motivation, the craving driven by cues, like the open bag sitting right there, or the TV show you always snack during. Your hand keeps moving on autopilot, driven by the memory of how good that first bite was, chasing a thrill that is long gone. It's pure momentum, not magic. So, if our brains are wired this way, what can we do? The good news is you can work with this quirk instead of fighting it. The counterintuitive secret to making a treat feel special again is actually less variety in a single sitting. Instead of a giant bowl of mixed snacks, serve yourself a small portion of just one kind. By not constantly hitting the reset button, you'll naturally feel satisfied sooner. Another trick is spacing. A short pause, getting a glass of water, stepping outside for a breath of fresh air, can act as a palate cleanser, partially resetting your senses so the next bite tastes better. And finally, design your environment. Use small bowls instead of eating from the bag. Keep variety for different days, not the same meal. Monday can be chocolate day. Tuesday can be chip day. This way, you give your brain the novelty it craves over time without falling into the more is more trap of the buffet. So the next time you feel that first bite firework start to fade, remember, your brain isn't broken. It's working exactly as it was designed to, running an ancient survival program that values variety. Understanding this quirk doesn't mean you can never enjoy a buffet again. It just gives you the power to notice what's happening. You can choose to appreciate that first bite, and also choose to stop when the magic fades, knowing you can save the next firework for another day. It's the ultimate way to eat less, but enjoy it so much more. If this clicked, and you like these deep dives into one single quirk, we'd love for you to join us here at HeadQuirk. We break down the small brain habits that shape your day. Subscribe and drop a like if this helped you see snacking in a new light. Take care of your senses, and we'll see you in the next one.